By now you know the story of Jeremiah Smith famously being cut from his youth football team in Florida. What I think goes missed about that is some of the guys that were on that team and in that league, and also that Jeremiah would show up to practices with his dad playing catch, watching them practice on a team that he was cut by, come back the next year and was a different player. I love the stories that are coming from this because I don't know if y'all noticed this or not, but one of the dudes that played against starting quarterback at North Carolina State named C.J. Bailey, and CJ told Jake Trotter ESPN he was killing us when they got back, or that you've seen other coaches who've had great players compare him to great players. Like dudes that coach Lamar Jackson are going, he is the best player that I have seen since Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson is not only a Heisman Trophy winner and an MVP in the NFL, but he's one of just two dudes to win unanimous NFL MVP in history, and the other one is the GOAT. It's Tom Brady. You have folks that coach Sean Taylor. For those y'all young dudes that don't know nothing about no safety Sean Taylor, you need to go hit the books and hit the YouTubes and do your research because you didn't want no muss with no Sean Taylor. That dude would have been a Hall of Famer had it just kept going. And that's where it feels like Jeremiah Smith is headed. Geno Smith, people was calling him crazy. It's like, hey, he probably going to be the best to ever do it by the time he gets done. But you're seeing it. And it's one thing for us to talk about generational talent from an athletic standpoint, a speed standpoint, a power standpoint. It feels like we've been spoiled as sports fans because we got those, right? I mean, even in college football alone, right? We talk about Lamar Jackson, talk about Derrick Henry. We can talk about Christian McCaffrey. We can talk about Percy Harvin. We can talk about Cam Newton. We can talk about Reggie Bush. We can keep going down the line. But when people talk about Jeremiah Smith, it's not just that he has the NFL body. It's that dude approaches meetings, according to Chip Kelly, like a 10-year NFL veteran as a true freshman. The way that they be talking about Jeremiah Smith is the way that OU folks was talking about Adrian Peterson, okay? Adrian Peterson could have played in the NFL when he was 18 years old. Everybody knows it. Nobody denies it. Feels that way with Jeremiah Smith. As Ohio State gets ready to play the biggest game of its season so far on the road at number 3 Penn State, who is undefeated, looking to right the ship and get everybody back on the program if this team can win the national championship, I was having this thought about, could Jeremiah Smith win the Biletnikoff Award? And the answer is yes, right? 35 catches, 638 yards. That's not even top 20 in those categories, or at least in receptions, right? For perspective here, Travis Hunter has 60 catches for 751 yards, okay? If you throw Jeremiah Smith the ball 35 times, catches 35 times, probably going to have over 1,200 yards receiving, probably going to have close to 12, 13, 14 TDs. That was good enough for Marvin Harrison Jr. last year to win the Biletnikoff Award, but we're also talking about a guy who had demonstrated himself to be the offense on what was a one-loss team at Ohio State before you basically disbanded to go enter the NFL draft or enter the transfer portal before the Cotton Bowl. I look at that, and I can't use it as a comparison because Trey Harris is still out there making plays, right? Luther Burden is what many people believe to be the best prospect going in the NFL draft this year at wide receiver. Nick Nash at San Jose State has been outstanding. Ryan Williams is doing the damn thing at Alabama. We can keep going, right? Say nothing what Evan Stewart's been able to do, Tez Johnson's been able to do at Oregon. And usually that's how this goes, right? The Biletnikoff Award, kind of like the Heisman, goes to the best wide receiver on the best team most years. That's why it was such a big deal that Marvin Harrison Jr. won it last year because he's the first Ohio State wide receiver to win it since Terry Glenn in 1995. And then we're talking about Ohio State hasn't had a Heisman Trophy winner. Big Ten hasn't had a Heisman Trophy winner since 2006 with Troy Smith, okay? That's quarterback. The reason I wanted to do this is, A, to remind people just who Jeremiah Smith is, the dude they call JJ, and what a monster he was at Chaminade. Like, he mossing dudes that play in FBS last year. Like, the starting corner at Rutgers right now, he mossed that dude jumping basically over the goalpost with one hand from a pass that was thrown by a tailback. Not by the quarterback, by the tailback. He is he down there somewhere. Throw him the ball. We're going to look so bad if this man does not win the Biletnikoff Award at some point, and we're going to look so bad if this man doesn't win the Heisman Trophy and he keeps doing what he's doing. He can't win it this year. You can't. Travis Hunter's going to win it this year. It's not going to happen. Jeremiah Smith don't play both ways. That's just it, man. If you play both ways, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. We might see the first two-way freshman to win the Heisman Trophy. I would not do that with him because he's that valuable at wide receiver. I might make the same argument about Travis Hunter, but that ship is sailed, right? That horse is out the barn, okay? We have put that F1 car on the track, and we are into Lagos trying to get into the points. So, say that to say, if he shows out against Penn State and he goes for something bonkers, let's say it's 12 catches, 225 yards, 4 TDs, hand the man the Biletnikoff Award, get it out the way. Get it out the way. He might win it more than once. It's possible to say because they got this rule to say you got to be removed from high school for 3 years before you can go to the NFL. So we got him for 3 years, and this one of them. Get it out the way. Make sure we cover our bases because I don't want no Trevor Lawrence's going on no more in this sport. The reason I bring up Trevor Lawrence is on the short list of greatest college football players of all time, top 100. If we're talking about millions of players, right? He also never won the Heisman Trophy, even though he was a quarterback who led Clemson to a national championship as a true freshman 2018. Look at his win-loss record. It's ridiculous. Look at his win-loss record in high school. It's ridiculous. It's only when he got to Jacksonville that he started coming back down to earth, but so did that happen to Kyler Murray. The point there is, if he was not made a first-team All-American by the Football Writers Association and they caught this, right, rather than just make Mac Jones the guy in 2020, we're talking about Trevor Lawrence never being eligible for selection into the College Football Hall of Fame because the National Football Foundation has a rule that is mostly meant to whittle the field to, people that need to be in it by saying if you've not been a first-team All-American by a selector that we recognize, that the NCAA recognizes, then you can't be into the College Football Hall of Fame. It's the same stupid rule that was going to keep Mike Leach out of the Hall of Fame because you had to win 60% of your games as a head coach to get in there. He's like 59-7 or something like that. And they've changed it, and he's going to get in because the Hall of Fame is for us as much as it is for them, right? Mike Leach out of the Hall of Fame does not make sense. Trevor Lawrence out of the Hall of Fame does not make sense. We ain't baseball. We ain't baseball. That's not we got a lot of great players, and they all deserve their spots. Jeremiah Smith is living up to the hype, man. Like, that in and of itself is Herculean. Like, what we were telling people about this dude, what they had said about this dude, he's NFL ready. I've never seen anything like this. I'm not the kind of dude that just kind of shows up here talking about how great a freshman is. I don't want to be that guy. It's like the guy that is writing down perfect scores and pluses as a baseball scout, and you're shaking while you turn this in because you know this is your reputation, but you also know what you've seen, and you have to honor that, and you have to stand by that, and that's what it means to be a scout. That's what it means for you to go out there and tell people this is what you think, and it's within your best interest to just be like, I'm going to keep this to myself and let everybody else figure this out, but that's not who you are because you got into this to find Jeremiah Smiths. They have found Jeremiah Smith. Like Shohei is Steve Nebraska. Travis Hunter, Steve Nebraska. You found that dude. Let's celebrate him. Let's do that. And the way you celebrate them is by handing in these awards so that we can be like, dog, you is so cold. And tell the rest of the world, this man is so cold. He is going to be so cold at whatever. He could be doing anything. Mookie Betts, only active baseball player with 3 world championships. And that man could play basketball. That man could play football. That man could go bowling. It don't matter. He's so cold. That's where Jeremiah Smith is headed. And I don't want us to be looking stupid at the end. Because I'm doing this show and I'm telling y'all, and I am telling you what everybody else is telling you. Make it happen. Let's put this one down. Let's check this box. Let's make sure we don't look stupid and like fools because we ain't give this man the accolades that everybody knows he needs. Same thing with Travis Hunter. Hand the man the Heisman, or we going to be looking real foolish and stupid for not doing so down the line.